There's so many rules in 40K, hundreds of events, and constant updates. Skip the learning curve of Warhammer and join the pros. Art of War is led by multiple world champions with decades of success. We teach clinics, stream games, and inspire you to succeed at your favorite hobby. Join our global community of gamers just like you.
Is it time to fix my list?
It is time to fix my list. It's time.
Hell yeah.
I definitely sounded like Michael Buffer.
It's time. 3 lists.
3 lists enter, 1 list leaves.
Yeah, for the undisputed Warzone Atlanta heavyweight championship of the world.
Unfortunately, none of these guys is heavy enough to be a heavyweight, but that's okay. We'll just move along.
Mark?
Oh, I forgot Mark's in here. Mark is definitely heavyweight.
Yeah.
Mark actually missed weight.
Yeah, only like 4 people have ever missed weight for heavyweight, but you can do it.
Yes, you are correct. I agree with Tyrannosaurus Rex.
So, Jack Buffer?
Jack
yeah,
Buffer.
That is the nicest thing anyone has ever said to me.
Jack, you gotta go in the closet and go get one of your colorful suit jackets out, Buffer style.
I need to grab one of Nick's, wrap it around my head like a bandana, because it's definitely not
I was to say they have to be so tiny. Before we start,
those things are like for Barbies.
Yeah. Before we start today, I do want to make a story time real quick, because there was a time, and made me think of things that don't fit, that last year when we were doing Team America, we were doing pictures at the Art of War house, and we were giving our shirts, and I don't know if they got their shirts from a dollhouse factory, but they were tiny. I mean, tiny, tiny. So I thought my shirt was one of the worst, and I walk out of the bathroom after putting it on, and it looks like a blood pressure cuff, and I'm just standing here going, I will not wear this in public. They're like, you have to take a picture. I'm like, why? Are we doing some weird OnlyFans thing? I've got a painted on shirt. This is ridiculous.
You looked like a sausage that the butcher made on his first day, and still got a hangover. Yeah. He just stuffs the entire thing full, just like.
It looked like the shirt was gonna blow up, and I'm like, man, this is ridiculous, guys. And then I see Jack walk out, and he is currently wearing a half shirt. It
not went even halfway down my body.
It wasn't even close. He looks like he's getting ready for his After Dark episode. I was just like,
and they tried to make me take a picture with it on.
Dude, it was. Mine was ridiculous.
They went, all right, so get in there for a picture. And I was like, no, I won't. And they're like, oh, just try on the shirt. And then if you like it, you'll do a picture. And I tried. I'm like, I don't want to put the shirt on because it's very tight and it's not comfortable and I don't like it. And then
it wasn't tight.
And then they bullied me until I put the goddamn shirt on. And then it was a belly shirt, and they were like, hey, time for your picture. And then they acted like I was unreasonable.
That's fantastic. I couldn't actually move my arms. It was great. We got a super chat already.
So if you see me with, we have a video of Meet Team USA. It's set to a pretty banging track. Not gonna lie. That's photoshopped.
True. Also, yes.
Yeah. We use Sector 6 now. Right, Brad?
If you had to build a Word Bears list from the ground up, how would you do it?
Oh, $5 super chat from George Bloater. Oh boy, that one's a tough one. So you can build it around the Terminator brick. You can.
They have a good
I don't really know.
Their
I
secondary
mean,
is good.
yeah,
though.
you can probably build it around the Terminator brick. You won't fail your powers on it because you can auto pass a psychic power
Right.
if you fail it, and you can you 2-up re-rollable to get illusory supplication off, and then you just don't do like Nick and fail it the first turn every game.
I would definitely do it around the Terminator break because you can score some good points with that too. And they've got
it also moves to the center, and your secondary scores off of the center, and then you do warp ritual, and then you have demonkin near it. Also, on top of that, accursed cultists are really good, like really good.
Also,
if you caught our top 10 underrated units yesterday, they were number 1.
I do have Blake calling me right in the middle of Fix My List.
Why? Put him on. Put him on. He's, you know what? It's his list. Put him on.
What a fool. You know what? I'll text him and just tell him to get on YouTube and or call on Discord. I could just make it part of the call.
Yeah. Guest spot. Good old Blake Law, apparently.
God, Blake Law. That guy. That guy
bangs. Let's talk about his list. So today we're going to be going over the we're going to go over some Warzone Atlanta lists for this coming weekend. We're looking to make a bit of a backlog so we can do these shows a week in advance, or we can prep for them a week in advance. So we're taking a bit 1 week away from viewer submitted lists, and we are going to make fun of some of our friends here. So let's take a look, and then we'll be back to viewer submitted lists next week. So if you want to get your list in for next week, put it in the Discord. Otherwise, it might be the week after. That is, go to the Art of War Discord. That is, you can get access to that by joining the War Room. There's a 50% off discount for your first month. You go to the Fix My List channel, post your list up in a readable format, please. And then if you're lucky, I will select it.
What do you think your least favorite format is? Is it straight Battle Scribe?
No. It's definitely not that. It's definitely where they make me download a file, and then I open it up, and it's a solid brick of text with no points. So I need to verify points and everything later. And that is just never happening unless you have a list so interesting,
hot fire,
that I just can't help myself. But that is so much fun when they put it up in like a notes app sort of thing. I have to download, and then it's a solid brick of text. It looks like they're trying to scam me. Like, this looks like I have to sign at the bottom.
Matter of fact, having Matt call me. We're going to the same tourney. Well, I decided to go after I had no ride, no place to stay, and nothing else. But besides that, I'm as usual fully prepared.
And then there's a unit of Dire Avengers on the second page of the document.
Oh,
yeah. There's 3 even.
Let's talk about Blake's list. Blake dropped.
Oh, Brad, he doesn't have your phone number. Can you post it in chat?
I will, actually.
Oh, God, that's going to end poorly.
What?
Do it. If you don't, I'll post your phone number in chat.
I don't care. I have 74 unread text messages right now. You think anything's going to change if I put it on this particular chat?
How many of those are mine?
Let's find out.
Jamie Schoolcraft coming in with that jerky at LVO. Woo!
Only 2. I'll email you out, man.
Can you post the stream key in chat too?
Why not? Let's do some stuff. He lost to Megara, which I'm very happy for.
I don't know. Megara's do bang. Like, Megara's hit hard.
It does, but I actually wish he brought the Gallant, and I actually prefer the Errant's big for him in the way he plays, because he likes the advance and zooming guys up. He really enjoys that, for sure. I'd like to see another Hell Variant in this list. I like the long distance dedication shooting, but if I'm going to take another big boy, the Gallant's okay, but like I prefer Paladin / Crusader, to be honest. What are your thoughts before I continue on to go downtown?
I think the nice part of the Gallant is how cheap it is, and when you kit it out like this, then it's no longer cheap. And I kind of just want...
Yeah, that's the kind of where I was at with it too. I was going to say that before. Because the whole point of the Gallant is that you can fit in a second, well, not a second, but another little guy because he's so cheap. But he's got like a ton of stuff on him. So like, why am I not just taking a Paladin or a Crusader?
He's got Monarch's Ward, and that is to keep the Knight Errant alive. He's got a Twin Icarus autocannon, which I assume was because he was like 20 or 25 points or however much it is over. That's why, or under. That's why I assume he has the Twin Icarus, is because you can't spend it anywhere else. So screw it. But for 460, I feel like we can get a better knight, right? A better class of knight.
Yeah.
I feel like we could get a Paladin with Monarch's Ward. I don't know if that's actually true. It's been a second since I made a Knights list. I don't remember points off the top of my head, but I'm going to check it.
I was to say, check it out. I would much rather have a Paladin in here. Also, again, I still would like a second Hell variant.
I like the triple Moirax, and the reason that they have Strike and Shield as opposed to, so William asks in chat, wouldn't noble combatants go better on the Moirax and mitigates against the -1 to hit? It does. But Moiraxes are going to be leading the charge.
100%.
And so they're going to be the first one to take hits from enemy like combat units. Right? Moiraxes are going to be running in there with double rad cleansers.
Trans Hitman's busted, man.
Whoosh.
Get a 4-up invuln, -1 damage, and Trans Hitman is a big deal.
Yeah, Blood Angels go from they end you to I can't kill anything.
Right. I mean, they might bounce. And the thing is that the Rad Cleansers plus the Siege Claw is a disgusting combo. Just auto wounds from those flamers. Not auto wounds, but auto hits. You know what I mean? Wounding everything on deuces. And it's big damage, too. You fail a save.
Wounding them on dubs?
Yep. It's a big deal.
Okay, let me look up how much. Oh, God, I have to put in...
Uh-oh, Jack's doing math.
Yeah, I'm doing math right now. Thanks.
His head's starting to steam. I like the Moiraxes quite a bit. If anything, I would do a Warglaive switch for a Hell variant, to be honest.
Yeah.
I just like 2 Hell variants because you can basically touch them onto your objectives and shoot from the back while screening out your backfield.
So, unfortunately, Battlescribe decided it didn't want to let me pick Imperialis or Mechanicus for literally no reason. And what that means is I couldn't see how many points Monarch's Ward was. A Paladin is 430. Maybe 425 if you take the... it's 425, I think, if you take the Melt Gun off, which I also couldn't do because it wouldn't let me pick Mechanicus. So here's where we go to Wahapedia. Because we have been reduced to that. The Moiraxes, I really like Moiraxes. I think people are underrating them quite significantly, honestly. You know, I
like him.
Honestly, a mono strike and shield army just kind of, especially with Moiraxes, just kind of beats some armies.
Paladin base 430, Monarch Sword 35.
But is it 430 base with the Meltagun? No, it's 425 base. And if Monarch's Ward is plus 30, then that's 460. And
you can just squabbling over 4 and 5 points.
Yes, because 460 means it's a direct swap for the Gallant.
The Gallant basically was looking out, and we pushed him into traffic and put in the Paladin.
Yeah, but if the problem with Knights is if you're like 5 points over,
you have no way to
where do those 5 points come from, buddy? Because
you know what the worst part of
Knight?
Finding it points is terrible, but also it's almost even a worse feeling when you're under because you have absolutely nothing but random upgrades to take, and it's so annoying to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I know that that Blake and his life partner Brian Jones, I know they like the Knight Gallant with Helm of the Nameless Warrior, because that guy runs up and does a lot of mortal wounds in combat. Like, I get why they like him.
They're both doing this list, by the way. This is the same list. They came together. They did a brain trust, fused together, synergized into the most powerful knights in the universe.
Yeah, except at the Games Workshop finale, Brian showed up to I think the best overall had 3 knight players, weirdly enough. And he just showed up with a Castellan and Monarch Sword and was just like, yeah, I will win the mirror, thank you.
Volcano cannon for the win.
Yeah.
You bad person.
But I would probably just try not to be cute here and just swap out the Gallant for a Paladin. I mean, that's me. The battle cannon is nice. Reroll ones is super nice. Moiraxes with wound on 2s with reroll 1s is pretty sweet.
Uh-oh.
He does not have meltas on the small armigers. Because Warglaives would be 450 with it.
We have 2 super chats, and I'm almost positive they are 2 different colors.
They are. Luke is all right. $5 super chat says, advice on Salamander's fast attack. Is Storm Speed or Thunderstrike still better than the Hammer Strike? Yes. Or do I go attack bikes, or do I abandon fast attack as a slot?
No, you need
always an option.
You need a unit of bikes with Salamanders. You can just slap full rerolls on the Meltas, and it's very nice early game to threaten that.
I think in Salamanders, I think the attack bikes are a bit better.
Still overcosted.
The Storm Speed or Thunderstrike is probably still better than the Hammer Strike because it just hits on 2s.
Yeah,
and is longer range.
And I would say it's longer range is the bigger deal on that.
Yeah. Do they get +1 to hit and wound? What do they get with Meltas? Salamanders? What's their super doctrine?
Let's say again.
What's the Salamander super doctrine again?
+1 to wound with flamers and Meltas while you're in
It's not +1 to hit and wound?
No, it's just +1 to wound.
Yeah, probably still take the Thunderstrike. Longer range, hits on 2s, you still use your wound reroll. You don't get yourself killed anytime you use it. It's cheap.
Yeah.
Or use attack bikes with multi-meltas. Or you can always abandon fast attack.
I would do both right now. The last couple of Salamanders list, I had a unit of both.
Peaches the Destroyer, $10 super chat. Yes, I didn't miss the good old Fix Your List weekly trolling. Needs more Ragnar Blackmane.
Dude, this list could definitely be awesome if Ragnar Blackmane jumped out. Remember when you had big vehicles and stuff and people would, like, if you were riding it, would jump out?
What?
Dude, like the old Necron vehicle, the CCB, when you blew up the actual
thing.
When
when you killed it, he was embarked in it.
Yeah, so he would actually get out. I want a knight driven by Ragnar Blackmane.
Well, there's one with Canis Rex in it.
Let's do this.
So, yeah, I mean, it's a solid list. I'm not going to say it isn't. Blake, none of these lists are going to be bad, for the record. These are all, people who know their armies really well. But I would probably just try to stop being cute with knights in combat, and I would probably just put in a paladin. Paladin with Monarch Sword. You keep Monarch Sword. You can give him Heart of Ion if you want. You can give him whatever you want, and he'll still kill. Most of the time, a Gallant and a Paladin will kill whatever's in front of them in combat. The Paladin hits harder and gives out a better buff, and so I like that.
Yeah, and I still want a second Eldarin, but that's just being picky.
I do like how with the Gallant and with the +1 to hit in melee, you can get more access to hitting on 2s.
Oh, good.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, I'm going to Eldar because this makes me happier.
Yeah, fair enough. There's just not that many levers to pull in knights.
There's so many levers to pull in Eldar.
Yeah, I've gone more into detail on Eldar in my life.
Also, Nick is bringing one of my least favorite combos. Split strikes, masteral shots.
So, I feel like the moment I take my eyes off you or Nick, you guys start
just doing weird
going away
stuff
from power and into
weird. I stopped a while ago.
Weird nonsense.
I tell the story about you calling me out as a turning point in my 40K list building life because I had ended up going to woo, I could do stuff to people, and you're like, you could just kill them instead. I'm like, I could do that too.
Yeah, there's a certain amount of raw power you need in a list.
This one does
just
not
to
have
make your opponent respect you.
So we got
once they have to respect you, you can play the game.
Yeah.
But if they don't have to respect you, it doesn't matter if you're a better player. They will just push their army forward at you, and you go, "Ooh, I guess I can't deal with that."
So here's the deal: he's got Swift Strikes, Master of Shot. He's ignoring cover, and he is counting as stationary. So he can basically the whole thing is he's advancing the swooping hawks, so he can then bounce them because he counts as stationary. But that's 20 swooping hawks, so he based his entire craft world effectively off.
I mean, kind of.
Who else is bothering with this?
Everything else goes really fast when you can just advance it, shoot it, and then move again. And also, ignoring cover is not nothing.
It's not nothing, but
could it be better? Sure. Does he have 3 Farseers? And does he have like?
What is?
Oh God! Does he have like 500 points in Psychic?
Yeah, he's got 2 units of Warlocks and 3 Farseers, and a craft world trait built on 20 swooping hawks. Man,
yeah, he has 445 in Psychics. The Baharoth, Nick cannot, for the life of him, spell Baharoth correctly, so he always puts it in as Bahoreth. And then the person who transcribes the names for our videos doesn't play 40K. And so she just puts in Bahoreth. So anytime you see, our videos will be like, unit data sheet focus, Bahoreth. And I'm like.
So let me go to the wall real quick because I have a lot to say about this list.
Yeah.
So Jamie's says, thoughts on Freeblade, 3 Helverin, Hunter of Beast attachment in a Salamander army might be fun. That is always good into a lot of Imperial armies, to be perfectly honest, because it's just good. And you pop the 1 CP strat for auto wounding on 6s on all 3 of them. It's always going to be pretty decent. That you could replace Salamander with pretty much any Imperial list at that point in time.
A lot of them do want it. Sisters don't. Grey Knights could, but possibly don't. Custodies could. But Space Marines are in a rough spot right now, and so just being like, "Oh, look, I borrowed 3 good models."
Yeah, it's a big deal on that.
Where did you find good models from? Certainly not in Space Marines.
I got a different codex. So, all right, let's go back to this. So we've got Striking Scorpions, Crushing Blow, 2 units of Banshees, 20 Swooping Hawks, every caster in the universe, a unit of Rangers, 20 Guardians in 1 squad.
Oh yeah,
3 shot.
He's gonna deep strike that unit. I've seen Nick play Eldar a million times. He deep strikes the Guardians.
Yeah, well, 100%.
And then he just tries to like string out and control a lot of board. And then he can give them Ghost Walk and charge onto objectives with them. And
and then we got a Wave Serpent and a Webway Gate. I don't understand the synergies here because anything that would want to be in the Wave Serpent, I would rather have in the Webway. We've got a lot of wasted points and we don't have a ton of damage. I just feel that there's too many lists that could just move to the middle of the board and just go, I don't care.
Yeah, the one I'm planning on taking can do that. I'm playing Thousand Suns. No practice games, obviously. Let's go.
I love everything about this, Jack. This is so Brad style. You are becoming, every day you become a little more like Brad. Did you hurt yourself? Do you have any orthopedic injuries?
I've been noticing some heart palpitations, this weird headache going on,
It's not good. I feel bad.
Yeah, I think this is the classic case of Eldar getting too lost in the sauce, as Nick might say. Too much support, not enough stuff.
We just don't have enough damage, period. One, the Wave Serpent, why?
This is definitely also a list where you need to be better than your opponent. Because if you slip up and lose a unit, guess what? You're boned. You're just screwed.
I don't know.
Yeah, because all of this stuff dies really fast, and if your opponent gets around a corner and shoots any of it, you are just dead. It'll cause a critical cascade of failures where if one of your resources is removed, and they're very easy to remove, then you don't have enough to stop them from removing more of your resources, and then all of a sudden they just walk onto your home objective like 2 turns later.
We just have We only have one Dire Avengers. I do like the double Howling Banshees. You know, I like that. The Scorpions are just a must-have for me. With Crushing Blows is auto wounding on hits, and they have 7 attacks with exploding 6s. It's just amazing. But
Jazzy Bear says, have you been finding yourself lost randomly and wine in your hand at all hours of the day?
Like, you might have a bad case of chesteritis. It's
chesteritis.
It's uncurable, by the way.
You've tried. John Chaves, it's funny that you should say that this list hates Guard Indirect, because guess what it's playing into in 2.5 hours?
Who's playing this? Who's playing the Guard?
John.
Tell John if he loses this list, he's dead to me. And he is now officially has to change his name to something like In Nick's Pocket.
I will. Now here's the thing, guys in chat. Don't get me wrong here. We're making fun of this list. All of you would lose to this because Nick is an insane player. He's so good.
Nick is really good. But
Nick
this
is
list
really
needs
good, and
a lot.
he'll make it work. But it does. He's making it work in spite of the list.
Yeah, it is making me sad though.
Like I don't want anyone in chat to get the wrong idea of like Nick's a bad player, so we're making fun of him. No, sir.
No, Nick's amazing. It's just he's bringing a bad list.
Yeah, Nick is a great player who gets up his own ass sometimes.
My main problem, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know why I'm focused on this. Also, not gonna lie, Joe Money again. I just don't understand what the Serpent's doing. Like, are we just putting 2 Banshees and Warlocks in it? I mean, like, you could Phantasm 2 units and 2 casters. You know what I mean? Like, who's in it? Like,
I would be very interested to find that out. I'm assuming the Dire Avengers, maybe the Howling Banshees. I'm gonna assume like a unit or 2 of Howling Banshee. I don't really know.
I just don't. We've got the gate, and the gate lets you come out of the gate or any of the board edges. I would much rather do that than have 145.
I mean, the Wave
points.
Serpent, the Webway Gate, you can come out even if they're right next to you.
Yeah, can't stop it. Which means that your shooting units like your Dire Avengers are always safe.
I mean, even if you were going to take a Wave Serpent, like, why isn't it just a Falcon?
Where I was going with this, if I want to transport, I want a Falcon, so I can threaten deep strike on turn 1.
Yeah,
and it also
it's
has
also
real
a classic
damage.
Nick move to not put in any of his weapon upgrades. So, like, Wave Serpent technically has like no guns because like I don't know what guns it has. I'm assuming it's twin scatter lasers with the under shuriken.
It comes with a cannon and a catapult.
Yeah. I want that just to be a Falcon so that the Howling Banshees can start in it, come down, get out, and then auto charge from reserves with Ghost Walk.
Yep.
If you're going to take it at all. But I probably wouldn't, and I would take 10 more Dire Avengers.
Exactly. But then we have pick problems here because we have enough. Well, we have 2 tropes. I would rather have the Shroud. To tell you the truth, I'd like the Shroud Runners just to be a unit of Shining Spears.
So Alfmar, the list technically does give up Assassinate. I hear you. Taking Assassinate against this is a massive trap, though.
No, they'll just run away. It's Eldar.
Yeah, because they're so fast that you're never going to pin them down. And if you end up getting a 3 on it, you are losing the game off that.
Yeah, and there's two Farseer Scar Runners, which are literally going to go 22 if you get anywhere near them. Yeah,
the only characters he has 5 characters, so he gives up a 15 if you kill all of them. 3 of them are on jet bike, so they move 16, 22 if they advance. You're never catching them if he doesn't want you to.
Yeah.
And then there's Baharoth, who goes everywhere and anywhere, and you're not catching him. And the Farseer is going to be behind his army, so you have to table him to get those 3 points, and then to get the rest of it, you have to chase down characters that are scattering to the winds.
So we got
and
Peach
if you get a 0 or a 3 on it, you lose the game, basically.
Peach of the Destroyer with a super chat. Long Fang Brad might help me decide on character. 2 Impulsors, 5 Blade Card in both. Ragnar and either Wolf Priest or Judge Judy.
Wolf Priest or Judiciary? Yeah, Judiciaries and Space Wolves are really annoying to deal with.
Yeah, he's popping out of a Impulsor at that point in time. So you'd have so much fight last between Armor Russ, Judge Judy, and Murderous Hurricane. You're basically just telling your opponent, "Hey, let me roll some dice. I'll let you know when I'm done." Go ahead.
So how would we go through that? Honestly, I would go through this with just like pruning shears.
Yeah, the serpent goes away.
One Farseer goes away.
One Farseer goes away. So we've got. I would actually take one of the guys on the bike, so we just have more points because I like 1 foot and 1 bike. So that means we've got 270 points right there. I would definitely sneak in. We need to figure out our detachments at that point in time because I would like more Dire Avengers for sure.
But then we're sidelining right into Hail of Doom.
Yeah, but I'm saying we'll keep it everything. The thing is, but the thing is, Dire Avengers are still good. I mean, they are. Master of Shots, Dire Avengers are coming out of reserve are just fantastic. I mean,
with Guide Doom, they do mess people up bad. So let's talk what psychic powers we would keep because we're going down to 4 instead of 6. All the ones he has are great.
We just make this a bat though. Because you're losing a Farseer, we just make it a battalion. There's no reason to not make it a battalion.
He only has 3 fast attack. He has 4 elites, no heavies. Yeah, it can just become a battalion.
It just becomes a battalion. We lose a Farseer, we make it a bat. And then we lose the transport, and we lose one of the things, we get 270. So we can throw a troop and another Dire Avenger unit in here. Cool. The army's already better.
Yeah, a troop, a Dire Avenger, and then probably like a 6-man Dire Avenger.
Yeah, we also have 2 CP.
Yep.
We literally get 2 more CP.
Yeah, you would get Ranger, 10, 20 Guardians, and then you get 10, 6 Dire Avengers probably.
Yeah.
There might be over points a little, but you can cut. I don't love the Mirror Swords Crone Scream unit.
I do. We've talked about this a bunch. It's just one more unit that has 84. It's just nice.
Fair enough. What's so that when they charge in, Crone Scream deals just D3 plus 1 if it's the first charge, which almost certainly is. And then it looks like he doesn't have an upgrade on them, so he isn't doing the 2 up to do 1. That's just mostly giving him an extra attack and extra wound.
There's no way he didn't take the upgrade on that.
It's 95 points, bro.
It should be 105 points if he took the upgrade. That's true.
I added the whole list together, and it's 2K.
Yeah, it's just so many more attacks.
It's the first list he's ever made that's an even 2K points.
Fine. Then I don't want Crone Scream. I want the upgrade.
Well, Crone Scream costs you the second half of the CP. You're giving the Phoenix Plume to the Swooping Hawks.
Oh, that's true. Phoenix Plume.
Striking Scorpion doesn't get anything out of it. So you're not giving it there. The Dire Avengers, it's a sword, so it actually makes them worse. So yeah, you're giving it to them.
Yeah, you're giving it to them. I guess. I forgot that we already had it on the Swooping Hawks. I was about to say I wanted to get my CP back.
I don't think it's dumb not to. Like, I really don't. I think it's fine.
Yeah. But like,
I think it's fine.
If you took out the wave, we make it a bat. Take out the Wave Serpent. Take out one of the Farseers. We gain more Dire Avengers. We just gain more stuff. To be honest.
So let's talk psychic powers, because that's the worst part about cutting a Farseer is we go from 6 down to 4 psychic powers. So what psychic powers are we keeping? What psychic powers are we cutting?
I'm cutting Ghostwalk.
I think it's Ghostwalk, Will of Viserion. Yeah.
I like Will quite a bit.
Yeah, but I like the if you're going to a battalion, you don't need Faithful.
I don't want Focus Will. I'll just take Will.
Focus Will's insane. Dude.
I'll take Will and Guide. I know, but it's still one of the things that I don't 100% need.
I mean, I would cut Faithful before I cut Focus Will. Focus Will just gives you a massive psychic secondary just boost.
I'll give you
because what you do, and also you're only casting 3 of these if you take a psychic secondary. Now the Warlock Skyrunner can do it.
Now the big thing is that you're losing a CP a turn, but if you gain 2 CP by making this a bat, that kind of cuts for that. To be honest.
Yeah, exactly. The thing Focus Will gives you. I was the one who came up with this. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Ooh, yes. Look at the big brain on Jack.
Yeah, look at this. Focus Will, when you cast at +2 and you make one of the dice a 6 from Strand's dice, your minimum cast is a 9 when you do a psychic secondary. And your average, if you roll a 4+, then they can't deny it at all because you rolled a 12, a 13, or a 14.
Right.
So decent odds that they just straight up can't deny it, and then also very, very likely that you just rolled like a 10 or something, and then you're like, "Ooh, get out!"
I can find myself a hot girl here. You know, as the
Bro,
art
not
war,
in a 40K YouTube channel. Sorry, bud.
so I read that off the wall because we have. I need everybody to know this because my crazy wife. So I read this as it pops up as one of the spam YouTube things, and my woman immediately pops her head in with an angry look.
One of these days, you're gonna not get the disclaimer out in time, and Britt's gonna take your head off.
Yes, 100%. She is. If I die, it's her. I just want everybody.
I'm just gonna see her appear behind the back of the green screen that you have. I'm just gonna see her appear with a katana and just. And then you look sneaky around like nothing happened, and then you slide apart. Yeah.
Anime and a half.
Yeah, so Alfmar, the 2 warlocks cannot do psychic secondaries because they're not characters. But the warlock Skyrunner can because it's a solo one. It gains character. Focus Will, when you cast a +2, the psychic secondaries just happen, which is great. Not worrying about points, awesome. And then when you're denying it +2, your opponent can get bent.
By the way, the things that we put in this list, this is why we want to put these in, because Nick has Protect Jinx in this list. He's got Masterful Shots as his craft world in this list. Putting more shooting helps this list because he's leaning into making people save -1, not letting them have a cover save. So you want to really lean into the fact that let's go ahead and get more shots to develop into that, what he's trying to do with this, which will help. Things like the Serpent is not.
Tyrannosaurus Rex, I really appreciate you in our chat, just constantly being a dinosaur. And that's all I want from you. It says, consider the relationships of tyrannosaurs. If you're annoyed or hungry, you eat your partner.
I like
Certainly can't hit them, not with those arms. Is it too much to ask to get the 10th guy in each of the swooping hawk units? Like, is that too much to ask? Please.
You know what? I didn't even bother, even though he has. I just assumed that it was 9 guys plus the Exarch. To be honest,
nope. No, it's 9. It's just 9. Nick's never met a corner he doesn't like cutting. I just want them. If you're building your army around them, why are you making?
You didn't bring enough of them. You know what? I can't talk about this list anymore. I'm moving on.
If you're building your army around swooping hawks, you bring as many swooping hawks as you can. Especially when you're buffing them with guide. At least go 10 and 8. If you go 10 and 8, at least the 10 man gets the Phoenix Plume and the Winged Evasion, then they get guide.
I am just not talking about this anymore. Okay.
But again, I don't want anyone to get me wrong.
No.
Nick will beat anyone except for like 5 people in the continental United States with that list.
But it could be so much better.
Yeah.
Admit that.
Alaska, though, will mess him right up.
Alaska will mess him up. What is happening?
Or Hawaii.
There's stuff in the view.
All right.
Let's talk about Mark.
This is Mark Perry's I just want to get back in shape. I'm going to go run at people and end their life list.
It is. I haven't even seen a list that's this aggressive. I love the fact that he's got 3 Dread Claws and no one to put in them.
The Noise Marines go in them.
I know, but why?
Because screw you, that's why. He's going to have 10 cultists behind a wall, all of his Noise Marines in Dread Claws, and his character's hidden just behind the cultists, and 2 Helldrakes. And then turn 1, all of his Noise Marines are coming in the Dread Claws. The Helldrakes are running at you and charging, and his Lord Discordants are motoring their way up the field.
I mean,
and he'll also try a 9-inch charge with the Chaos Lord too. Who can fit in the Dread Claw. Yes. I know he can. He'll try a 9-inch charge with the Chaos Lord. He'll make it. He'll kill something he shouldn't have, and then you're like, oh no.
I mean, Mark just went, I need to be mad. Whoa!
Yeah, this isn't a World Eaters list somehow, but it feels like one.
Why isn't this a World Eaters list? Well, because you're not out. But
yeah, because also Noise Marines with Blast Masters and the troop slots are nuts.
Yes.
He also gave all of them Sonic Blasters.
Yes.
All of them.
He just went, they're slightly overpriced, don't care. You know what the best part about this is? I bet you the people that do the most damage in the entire army are just going to be the 3 Dread Claws, just Queensberry rulesing people, punching them in the face. Come on now. Come on. Wow.
Yeah, no, this thing is going to run at you and it's going to kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They will honor the prince.
Yeah, it's a lot of shooting too. Like it's a lot of shooting. It's four Bale Flamers. Sorry, 4 Bale Flamers, which are each 2d3 plus 2 shots, and then it's 5 Blast Masters and 20 Sonic Blasters.
I'm wondering where he's dumping the Dreadclaws out at, because he wants to shoot, but like I feel like Mark had the actual nails put into his head from the World Eaters right now. This is so aggressive. So I also feel like he's going to be 9 inches away.
Oh, he's deep striking them all 9 inches away, and he's banging 50% of the charges.
I love everything about this.
Like, my man has no time for subtlety. Subtlety is for other people. You're going to die today. That's what he's telling you.
I mean, there's so much death on the horizon. I mean, the good thing is Mark will have plenty of time to go get something to eat, because win or lose, his game is going to be done in the first half hour.
No, here's what's going to happen when I play him. This is what always happens when I play Mark. Every single game that I play Mark. Our lists annihilate each other like matter and antimatter in the first 2 turns, and then it's 3 models apiece running around the board, scoring points
doing random
for the
actions.
last 3 turns. Like, literally, my last game was like 3 Dark Eldar characters up against Abaddon in a corner, and like one Obliterator, and then like 10 cultists. That was our last game. It was like by turn 3.
I love everything about that. I wish I had something that was beefier, weirdly enough.
Yeah, I don't even know what I don't know what I changed to this at all.
I just like to have,
like, honestly, Third Lord Discordant on Hellstalker. Screw it.
Yeah, I would rather have
If
that.
you're gonna do it, you know?
Let's triple disco, bro. Come into
Triple
the house.
disco.
Triple
I
disco.
don't know what you're cutting for it. I don't care. Just make it happen, you know? Cut the Noise Marines that doesn't have an icon and take, I don't know, anything else.
Exactly. And Pete just goes, every list that brings Noise Marines will Blastmaster needs to always be called Who Controls Bartertown? And
Who does control Bartertown?
What's that?
Who does control Bartertown?
Somebody that's about the same size as me. Master Blaster!
Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing. Like, come on. The Chaos Lord and Terminator, I mean, I know he loves the Chaos Lord and Terminator armor. I don't actually know what this combo does. I'm going to find out real fast for all of y'all, because I've never seen that before. Well, I know that Mark does crazy things with Chaos Lords and Terminator armor. Enough that he made Nick want to jam him in his list before Nick realized that you cannot follow Mark down the Mark path. You just cannot.
Well, Mark, in essence, is still an orc, so he just believes that what he's going to do is going to work, and that's
not an insult. If you call him an orc, he will say, "I am a Big Mac," because it is true.
Nergal Matt with the super chat, and I will 100% tell him that you love the Chaos Drop Pods. The old Dreadclaw, the old 1-2. It's actually it's the old 1-2-3 with the Dreadclaws.
Ooh. Let me see what Fatal Sonancy is, because I'm pretty sure Eternal Vendetta is like reroll hits at the end. Oh yeah, this thing's obnoxious. At the end of your movement phase, you select an enemy unit within 12 inches invisible, and you roll 6 dice. And for every 4 up, they take a mortal wound. Every movement phase, you do that. Every single one. This guy just picks an enemy unit within 12 every single turn and just goes 3 mortal wounds, please.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's obnoxious is what it is.
I love anything about it, dude. This,
and also it's not 3 mortal wounds. If it's mark on the sticks, it's 4 to 5.
I need Mark to be on stream every single time. Also, I want Mark to just put the world's weirdest. I want you guys to know what Warzone does. So they're.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The terrain is odd at Warzone.
So you basically roll to see what side you're on, and then you can put pieces of terrain on either person's side. There's no stopping it. They just go ahead and do it. So Mark could just make his opponent, if he gets to choose first, kind of a barren wasteland.
So yeah, Warzone is you have to put the first piece of terrain on your half of the board. And after that, feel free to ruin your opponent's side of the board as much as you physically want. And then, Fatal Sonancy can target whatever the heck you feel like, Alfmar. I am sure at some point during the tournament, he's going to point that thing at a 6-wound character and kill it.
Just dice it.
Yeah. Eternal Vendetta is he picks a unit, and then everyone near him rerolls wounds against that target. So the turn all the Dreadclaws come in and just toss out 25 Noise Marines, they're all going to be rerolling to wound against whatever your biggest thing is. And that's going to suck. Pretty sure. So let's go over the Disco Lords. Unholy Fortitude, I'm pretty sure, is the 5 of Feel No Pain. Yup. And then Flames of Spite on the other one is reroll wounds, and 6s to wound with any attack is a mortal wound. Really, really good. Intoxicating Elixir is plus D3 attacks and 3 wound phase cap in the fight phase. Yes, please.
Phase cap is the big deal for there. Whew.
Yeah, but people forget the plus D3 attacks, and then he ruins you with it.
Yeah, he's not playing around.
I know last time he took the Chaos Lord, he gave them Tharis and Riol to give the plus D3 attacks to the Power Fist and the Lightning Claw. It was pretty cute. The Gorget of Eternal Hate on the other one is +1 armor saving throws, 4 up invuln, and the first time they're destroyed, they do D3 mortal wounds to every enemy unit within 3 on a 2 through 5, and on a 6 they take 3. Cute. He explodes when he dies. I would have probably... You can't really give him Tharis and Riol, so you can't really give him a demon weapon. Because you can't give it to the Hellstalker's claws or whatever. But there's definitely something in here I'd rather give than that. Maybe not, actually. I'm
just looking at all these Noise Marines with all Sonic Blasters and Power Fists.
Oh, yeah. Mark loves popping the 6s to wound or a mortal wound and just going off with it. So I'm not... Let me put it this way. Mark goes for risks that we wouldn't.
Mortal humans will not.
Not even risks. Like, he'll spend resources on chances. And that is actually...
Wild chances also.
Wild chances. But here's the thing. You never hit those chances if you don't try.
Also true.
And so, occasionally, he just gets, like, massive value out of these wild chances because he's willing to swing at them. And I'm not. But that also means I never get that upside.
Well,
I get more consistent results, but occasionally he'll just blow a match wide open because he's willing to take risks I'm not.
Yeah, because he's Mark Perry.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, it's not a mistake. It's a viable strategy of if you take risks or you spend resources on chances, occasionally it will pay off. And that's something you will never get if you don't take those chances. Tyrannosaurus Rex says, okay, dumb question. 3 Cold Star commanders or 2 Cold Stars and an Enforcer. Almost always 3 Cold Star commanders. Almost always. If you're running 3 commanders at all, it's almost certainly in Farsight Enclaves. If you're running Farsight Enclaves, you probably just want to take triple Cold Star. If you take triple Cold Star and you have Crisis Suits, which is where you take the Enforcer for,
I'd rather
probably just want a Crisis Commander instead, or Farsight.
I'd rather have a Crisis Commander 100% than...
And if you don't have Crisis Suits and you're taking Enforcer to give precision to with Cyclic Ion Blasters, you want to take a Crisis Commander with that instead, because he can actually be targeted with dynamic offensive to auto advance 6 and ignore the movement penalty, whereas the Enforcer Commander cannot. The Crisis Commander, Crisis Suits are the only ones who can benefit from it. So if you're taking him as a gun guy, take him as a Crisis Commander so he can move faster. 1 CP goes 16, ignores the hit penalty, shoots.
I haven't even read the quote yet. I just know the name of 2 trash pandas in a trench coat.
I don't fear the man who practices the same punch 10,000 times. I fear the man who ties a hand grenade to a rope and spins at me screaming the lyrics of Bohemian Rhapsody. It's what it feels like when you play Mark. It's just you're along for the ride.
Oh.
Welcome, Sean Mackey. Welcome to the War Room Podcast Bundle. If you have a list you want to submit, go ahead and go to our Discord and put it in the Fix My List Discord. Fix My List sub channel there, and I'll take a look at it. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
I would make so many changes to this list if it wasn't Mark, but because it's Mark, I'm not changing anything.
No. Triple Disco Lord.
Triple Disco. Okay.
Triple Disco. Cut the noise marines and end up with cut like the noise marines that don't have an icon and end up with. I don't care. Just get the triple disco in there.
I do love the fact that we have triple Dreadclaw. We actually don't have enough stuff to go in the Dreadclaws.
It is pretty banging, isn't it? You're right. Those Dreadclaws are running at you and they're killing you. Nothing to see here asks, how do you kit out your crisis commanders? The reason I'm going into detail about Tau right now is partly because we haven't fixed anyone's actual list.
Yeah.
Second off, because I went so down the rabbit hole for Tau, for WTC, that I kind of want to just make use of that knowledge that I have. How do you kit out your crisis commanders? So the way I kitted out my crisis commander for Tau Sept, which I think was pretty good, was cyclic missile pod double plasma.
Yeah.
And that was a good fire support guy. He put out reasonable firepower and didn't get too in danger.
I like that a lot, though, because it gives you 3 damage is the perfect damage point right now, that having a decent amount of it is kind of a must.
Yeah, and you'd start out with that, or you start with the cyclic so you can reroll one of the ones if you need to. And then you go to the plasma and finally the missile. Decent firepower, cheap. You're not expecting too much, but you get more than you bargain for. Like he's just a good character.
Because 3-year guns are also good ranged, also.
Yeah. 30-inch range means you're firing at some trash that's within 18, and then you're staying safe from the real stuff. And if you don't fire at 18 inches, you're not sad because you're not losing your crisis commander.
Yeah.
If you want to go more aggressive, if you want to include a crisis commander, even if you don't, there are reasons to include a crisis commander if you don't have crisis suits. People will tell you there isn't. There is. He's actually really good at shooting people. If you give him, you can give him 4 cyclic ion blasters if you're an absolute psycho, and then you give him precision of the hunter, and then you probably want to give him a defensive relic at that point, maybe solid image projector or bagel hunter plate, and then you 1 CP, dynamic offensive, move 16, get an angle on something, and end it. What more likely happen is that you go 3 cyclic, and then probably like DW02 or something, or thermoneutronic projector. Now, if you advance, you can't charge afterwards, but so thermo is probably losing a little value, but whatever, they're so dead, who cares?
I like the thermoneutronic
18-inch range is much nicer than 12, though. Yeah. So that's why I don't really like thermo as much. I'd probably take DW02 and then 3 cyclic. They don't really have the same target overlap, so you could just run 4 cyclic, and he's just very expensive, and it's fine. You can run like 2 shield drones with him, and he's like 230 points.
Why just triple up on guns when you don't need to? It just becomes so expensive.
It does become very expensive, but cyclics with precision are gross. They just kill people.
Yeah, everything with precision just kills people, to be perfectly honest.
Fair. But if you're running precision, I'd run minimum of 2 cyclics. Hey, Peach the Destroyer. Welcome to the Art of War. I kind of figured you were already a member, but
that hurts. It hurts inside.
In my heart, you were always a member.
My heart of hearts. Jack, give me some words to live by, besides making sure that Matt, did you already message me? Because I do need a ride. So.
We can all learn from Mark. Just hit people. Just hit them hard.
Hit them
Keep
good.
Hitting them until they don't get up anymore.
I like everything about that. We're all learning to hit people, just like they told you not to.
You got to unlearn some of that stuff.
All right. Queen's Wave.
Bye.